It's Monday, and we have Amy Cabaniss of Revel Market and Bar and Juleps. A mailbag, which is uh-oh for Roby. Welcome to Eat It, Virginia.
Hello and welcome to Eat It, Virginia, your number one food and restaurant podcast. My name is Scott Wise, and I am joined, as always, by my friend Roby Martin. Today's guest is Amy Cabaniss, the owner of not one but two restaurants in Richmond. But before we talk to Amy, Roby, how can people find us?
Well, they can look for us at Eat It Virginia on Instagram, or they can send us an email at eatitvirginia@gmail.com. Or they could send me an Instagram message over at Call Me Roby, and Scott, who very regularly looks at his Instagram, I promise, at Scott Wise.
What are those winks for? I don't know what that's all about. Before we get too deep in the podcast, congratulations are in order. Not for me.
Not for me.
Not for you, but for our producer, director, Nick. Nick.
Did he get an Emmy?
Tell us what happened recently.
Now you can wink at me, Nick.
Tell us what happened recently.
There it is.
He got engaged.
He got engaged. Yay,
So
Nick.
he did get something fun. I love it. Producer Nick is getting married. So, earlier today when we were talking to Nick, I was like, do you have a significant other? You should take him to the lily pad. And he just nodded. Not once was he like, I'm fianced up.
Well, maybe he's not used to it yet.
I mean,
it's brand
what?
new. It just happened. Yeah, give him a break.
Congratulations to you. That was very cool. We'd love an invite to the wedding. I already have said yes.
Hopefully he was taking notes of the last podcast when we were talking about all the different places that you can get a caterer in town.
Yes, I did all the catering
Did you get
stuff.
any feedback from that, by the way?
Oh, God, yeah. So many people sent me so many messages. Allie, who is a follower of ours on Instagram,
Right.
She's part of the Toast, your point of sale for restaurants. And she's
We love Allie.
We do love Allie. She's very engaged. We think she's great. She said, look for places that have Toast catering because they've just launched this whole thing. And this is not an ad for Toast, by the way, though if they want to sponsor us, we'd love it. And that shows you where you can get other catering. A lot of restaurants are doing it now, making it easier for you to get them. So that's really cool.
Allie from Toast, thank
Then
you
I
very
got
much.
yelled at for some of my picks, but we're not going down that road. I get yelled at about a lot of things.
People were mad at you?
Yeah, why did we go here? Why don't you say this? Don't you know about this person? And I'm like, oh.
Is there someone else's name you want to drop? or
Oh,
are we
no.
good? We're
But
good.
keep sending me
You're happy
messages.
with your list?
I love it. Yes. I did learn something, though, about abuelitas, which I think is really cool.
Oh.
And this is such a great segue. So, let's say 3 weeks ago, Matt Tarpey, who is the brewer of the Vale, sends me a message over Instagram and is like, Roby, I want you to come check out Mosto.
By the way, the brewer of the Vale sounds like a Game of Thrones character.
Yes, he is the head brewer at the Vale Brewing. He's
Yes.
wonderful. He's got a really great background in
The
brewing.
brewer of the Vale.
The brewer of the Vale. Well, he's like, come check out Mosto, which is a tequila brand that they've started. It's 100% blue agave.
That Matt started.
That Matt and Dave from the Vale as well. They have started with a guy named Oscar and Nelson Benavides,
Okay.
who is your favorite restaurant in Scott's Edition, owns Cochi Loco.
Oh my gosh, my favorite restaurants in Scotch Tradition.
So they own Cochi Loco, E2 Mama at the Vale,
Yes.
and then Hibachi Box.
Okay, I've not tried hibachi box yet.
Well, you should.
Okay.
It's full circle. They are brothers to Karina, who owns Abuelitas.
Wow.
Did you know that?
It's like one big family.
It's amazing. Anyway, I went to this incredible event in Scott's Edition that doesn't even look like it's in Scott's Edition, where they were using one of those grills that have fallen many a chef. There was one at Cocodrillo, that's no longer around. It's like that wheeled up and down that goes towards the wood fired and back up. They were using it to make pork tacos, probably the best pork tacos I've had in a very long time. Karina's mom was bare hand ripping pork off the grill. It was amazing to watch. Anyway, if you haven't had the most of tequila, you should. I learned that Abuelitas, who's one of our catering suggestions,
Yes.
all related to your favorite restaurant in Scott's Edition.
I think it sounds like a fun party, man.
Well, I hope they have more. And then I hope they choose to make us pay to go to a lot of them, because I would pay a lot of money to go.
We're going to dip into the mailbag in a moment, but first you wanted to talk a little bit about some news headlines, restaurant news headlines. Let's call it that.
So I'm excited. There's going to be a restaurant at Tredegar, so we'll be able to look at the water and eat some good food because, I feel like occasionally there isn't great food on the water in Richmond. So,
And we have the new amphitheater opening, so more excuses to go downtown.
So yes, we have. That's really cool. So that's Matt Kerwin, who was the shaved duck and grisette. So good snacks, I imagine, at Daisy's. And then, pizza at Enoteca Sonio. Did you know that you could get pizza? I know. What did you just say to me?
No, I'm not going to repeat that.
Yes,
I
you
need
need
to have
to.
some shred of
Oh, no. Say it.
credibility.
Okay, so Enoteca Sonio is a really great Italian restaurant over in the north side run by
gosh,
a really great
you're
human
gonna-
with really... Gary does such a good job with his wine and his Italian food. He was doing pizza and then stopped doing pizza. Has started back doing pizza.
Yes.
It's really good pizza. It's on Tuesdays. You have to get on their mailing list to learn about it because there's not a lot of social media.
Say the name of the restaurant again, but a little slower.
Enoteca
Sona.
Mm-hmm.
Sona is like night, right?
Sogno.
I gotta learn my
Sonia.
Italian.
Yes, you do because you're going.
Yes.
What did you say about Italian restaurants? This is so good because you're going to Italy, and I feel like this is going to
Ruby was
shatter.
very excited that this Italian restaurant is going to start making pizza. And I said, are there Italian restaurants that don't make pizza?
But the fact that you want pizza in every Italian restaurant is so
I want pizza
endearing.
in every restaurant,
Yes,
not
I
just
know.
Italian restaurant. Chinese pizza, Indian pizza, give me all the pizza.
Well, I love that. And you are going to Italy.
Yes.
So
I believe you have another podcast before that trip happens.
But I
yes.
want suggestions on what you should do. So you're headed to Rome and Florence and then on the coast. So I
Yes.
feel like people can give you... I got some great suggestions from the people that listen about restaurants that are kind of off the beaten path in Rome.
Okay.
Because you really could get sucked into some cruddy tourist ones that they have pizza, so you probably be fine.
Never going to live this down.
No. But anyway, so Scott's got some suggestions on what he
Yes.
should hit in Rome and Florence. And he said, I'm going to the coast, but that just means he doesn't want me to follow him.
Isn't the whole
that's why he
country's
hasn't
got a
told him.
coast? So
Yeah.
it's a big coast there. It's like, I've seen a map before. Yeah, there's a lot of coastline.
So you can send that to the Bag O Mail, which we currently have questions.
2 letters. First of all, Roby is a restaurant expert in Richmond and Virginia. You guys know this. I'm not telling you. That's why you're listening.
Nuh-uh, they want to
So
hear about your pizza
please-
thoughts.
That's right. I am pro pizza. Please reach out to us with all your questions because you'll get answers. Again, you mentioned it off the top. You can send us Instagram messages at Eat It Virginia or the Gmail mailbox, eatitvirginia@gmail.com. Question number 1.
Hit me.
Hi, Roby.
Hi,
It's not a
Ruby.
question yet. I've been really enjoying the Eat It Virginia podcast. Thank you. I recently read your review of 1870 in Style Weekly. Your descriptive writing truly brings the dining experience to life. I'm curious about your process. Do you take notes while you're eating, or do you rely on your memory? How do you capture those vivid details to make your reviews so engaging?
Oh, isn't that nice? Well, there's like a billion things happening. So I take notes. I also record sometimes what I say on my phone while I'm eating, which is super fun for
What does
my
that look
dining.
like?
Well, it's like, you have like a little voice note app that I
Yeah.
can like send myself. So I'll just put it down and talk about the food and push record. And Ryan loves it, by the way.
I'm sure
or
he
my
does.
dining companion thinks it's great. But then it makes it so I can like bring myself back to the photos I've taken, which are super helpful now. So if you see me in a restaurant, I always take pictures of every single menu, which is really horrible for everybody eating with me. I take pictures of most, if not all, of the food, and then I'll get some pictures of the interior. I try to make it to the restroom, and then I record so I can hear how loud it is when I'm not in the restaurant on the off chance that I need to bring it up later.
So all this is happening when you go out to review a restaurant.
All of it's happening.
It's a multimedia experience.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I had a really great server this last time, and one of my recordings, you can hear him talking about gin. And every time I play it back, it makes me smile because he's so excited. I mean, I really like gin. Surprise. And so like I've like listened to it a couple of times because I'm like, oh, yay. He's like, 22, 23. I'm sure he's not, but he's younger. And I just love the fact that he was super stoked about gin.
This was at 1870 or
It
somewhere
was,
else?
yeah,
I read
yeah.
your review. I like the reader really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So, you had a good meal there. Sounded
I
like.
I did. I
Beautiful.
did.
All right. So it's funny. You have not seen these questions.
No,
I have,
no.
But the end of that answer kind of leads into the next question.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So question number 2. Hi, Eat It Virginia. Love the podcast.
Yay.
Yeah. When it comes to dining out, I'm really curious about what's more important to you all, the food or the atmosphere. Do you think one outweighs the other, or do they go hand in hand for a great experience?
So it's funny because this actually is really cool because I was just discussing how excited I am that we're going to have good food on the water.
Yes.
And I think that atmosphere is really, really great. And a lot of times it can overshadow the food because the atmosphere can be so much, you have a good view or whatever it is. Roby, would prefer to go somewhere with really great food and maybe not quite so great of an atmosphere because I'm by and large typically there for the food. And as you know, I'll bring the party. So just think of me as your waterfront view. But no. I mean, I really am more about the food. But a lot of people do like a view, right? Or like a party atmosphere or a band or whatever it is.
So when I read that question, I was also thinking about, because it's something that I've been thinking about for a little bit too. Atmosphere can mean two different things, I think. It can mean like the lily pad off on the water with a steel drum reggae band playing, and lily pad does great food and cheap beer, and it's awesome.
Yep.
So they have the kind of the best of both worlds with the atmosphere and
a bucket of beer on the water is so fun.
Can't beat it. Mm-hmm. But what I was thinking also was like, not lily pad, but anywhere, the food is okay. It's fine. It's serviceable. It's not something that is going to be knock your socks off, but your server is polite and gracious and funny and kind, and the host or the hostess is like makes you feel warm and welcoming. So when I read atmosphere, I was thinking more like the people that you're interacting with versus like the mariachi band going around playing at everyone's table.
So I have eaten, this is really interesting that you said that. I have eaten at Handsome Biscuit in Norfolk and Virginia Beach several times in the last few months. And it is not a cute, it's fine. It's a fast casual biscuit spot. So assume that the interior is a fast casual biscuit spot, right?
Got it.
It's really great biscuits, by the way. Chicken biscuits, it's phenomenal. Every time I go in there, every single human that is working, including the guy that had like a spatula, hey, how you doing? Here, would you like a water?
Yeah.
Like they're just like all... And it's not like overwhelming, but they're just so. And I get back in the car and with Ryan sometimes, and I'm like, why are they so nice?
It leaves you with a great feeling.
Yes.
Yeah. So I
it's helpful they have great food too. But like it was,
But even if the food wasn't great,
I actually think I'd still go back.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You had 10 great experiences and one off one. You would give them another chance because they just seem into their jobs and into you. And
that last time, that guy held up his little spatula, was like, hey! And I'm like, I think he's working, but also he's saying hi to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, anyway. So thank you for writing into us. If you have any more questions, please, we're here to answer them. Did you say that you were the party? You were the waterside entertainment? What did you say exactly?
Look here, Pizza Boy.
We're going to have to bring that one back. Pizza Boy. The Adventures of Pizza Boy and Waterside Entertainment. We're like the latest Marvel
good God.
duo.
Actually, can we change this? Because Amy Cabaniss is here. And I think we should talk about Revel.
Let's go.
I just learned from you, Amy, that it has been 20-some years that you have owned restaurants in Richmond.
That is correct.
And I'm excited to have Amy Cabaniss with us today, who has Julep, Revel. Once upon a time it was Mint. Once upon a time there was Cabos.
How many restaurants has it? Like, do you have like the list in your head? How many restaurants you've owned?
I think it's 7.
7 in Richmond.
I think.
Starting in
1998, March.
Where were you in March of '98, Roby?
I was in college, but I do remember being here in Richmond. I moved to Richmond and lived right down the road from Cabos, and was just telling Amy, for some reason I was listening to jazz and drinking really, really big wine at Cabos. How did you get into the restaurant industry? That's a story.
That's a good story, actually. So I waited tables in restaurants all my life through college, graduated college, had a great job, was engaged to a very gregarious man named Bill Cabaniss, who was a go-getter. He didn't think things through. He just did, And so I was engaged to him. I was in Baltimore, just gotten out of the restaurant business, was organizing festivals and events for Downtown Presents. Checked in with Bill. I said, hey, how's your day going? He said, great. Guess what we got? I said, what did we get? He's like, we got the restaurant at Main and Meadow. I was like, what? Wait a minute. I just got out of the restaurant business. I have a degree. I have a job. Oh, no, you can just quit your job. It's no big deal. I'm like, oh, my gosh. So that's kind of how it evolved.
You found a winner there.
He was crazy. He was a good guy, but oof.
He was a big personality.
Yes, he was.
Like lots and lots.
He was
of it.
funny.
So you guys started with Cabos,
At Main and Meadow, where Bacchus is now.
and then moved to what else?
Brought in Allison.
Okay.
Second Cabos.
Okay, and then from Cabos to your next restaurant,
Juleps.
which was
In the bottom.
all the way down in the bottom, and then Juleps moved again,
12 years later to Gray Street.
which is next to Juan Gonzalez,
Yes.
and then in between there was Mint.
Yes.
And
Mint
then-
was around before I moved.
Okay.
In the fan at Davis and Main.
I love it. And
And that was short-lived.
do we get all
unfortunately.
7?
Not yet.
What are the other ones?
Revel.
Wait, I'm coming. Well, that one's coming. She's like, the one that you just brought up.
So let's see. 2 Cabos, 2 Juleps, Mint, Revel. 6. And
What
that's it.
have you learned from
That I'm
owning?
not opening anymore.
Oh no!
Just kidding.
What? I mean, no, really. I mean, you've been doing this for so long and so well. What have you learned from being in the restaurant industry, especially with someone who just was like, you're back into it?
What have I learned? I think consistency and the quality of the staff is imperative. If I don't have good staff, I don't have a good restaurant. So
Sure.
I pride myself on my wonderful staff that takes great care of me and our guests. You know, it's just very consistent. And Juleps is about to celebrate 22nd anniversary on Thursday this week. And I actually have an employee who's been with me since day 1.
What?
Yep.
That's amazing.
Another guy's been with me 21 years. My general manager's like 12, 14.
Well, they feel like family probably now to you. So are there characteristics that they all share that you can think of?
A little bit. Yeah, they're all pretty organized and committed to what they're doing.
Those are great characteristics to have in employees.
Yep.
And reliable, most likely. They probably show up to work,
Yep.
which is half the battle, I think.
Yes, exactly.
So how many employees do you have total?
Amongst the both, I would say 40.
Oh, that's a pretty solid amount.
Yeah.
That's great. And
Just about 20 at each, probably.
do they share kitchens or prep or any of that stuff? No, none of that. It's all separate.
It's all separate.
And Juleps is what type of cuisine?
Upscale Southern.
Okay, so still the pimento cheese. And are you setting things on fire still? Because the last time I was there, I think
the
I
Banana
had...
Fosters. That's a big hit. People love it.
So do I.
That was a Bill thing.
There you go.
Oh, Bill was funny. When he would come to visit, he'd buy everyone a Bananas Fosters, wheel the cart around. Everyone's like, Amy, get him out of here.
Is that a New Orleans thing?
I don't know where
Bananas
it came
Foster?
from. Probably. I mean, they set it. They set. There's liquor, and then they set that on fire, and bananas, obviously, and then
Foster?
and the Foster. It's like cake. No, it's ice cream. What is it?
Ice cream.
And
And it's usually served with like a shortbread cookie or
it is.
mold of some sort.
it's super fun. It's like the original entertainment. Especially if you have somebody like super flair doing it. I mean, you've got fire going everywhere. Sorry, Nick, I just hit the mic. That ought to be fun for your head. You've got everything happening. Like it's a really cool.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun dessert.
Now, one of the reasons, Amy, you're here is I've heard from multiple people. You have to have Revel. You have to feature Revel on the podcast. It is deserving of being, lifted and celebrated because of I think it's the community that you've built over there in
I agree.
Lakeside. Well, good. I'm glad you
I love
agree.
it over there, too.
Yeah.
Do you live over there?
No, I wish. But I don't.
Soon, maybe.
So Juleps has been around for 20 plus years. So people listening to the podcast have had a chance to probably visit Juleps, and whether it's in the bottom or on Gray Street. Revel is relatively new.
Yes.
Can you explain why open Revel and what is it about it that makes it just so special?
It's interesting. In 2018, this is how long it took for us to get open. My boyfriend, who is also a business partner and chef, and I were in New Orleans and ran into an old friend of mine. He said, you guys drop by this place called Bacchanal wine shop. So we did. We fell in love with it. We were in New Orleans doing research for hopefully menu items for Juleps. We came away with a restaurant concept and we obsessed over it. We're like, oh my gosh, this would be so cool in Richmond. Because at the time, there was really nothing much like it, in my opinion. So Bacchanal was very hippy-dippy, very laid back, like extremely. And we didn't think we should take it that far and that guests would appreciate servers. But the other place did not have servers. So
Did you just
Anyway.
pick up your food when they put it out, like at Bacchanal? Like, is it just like, here it is, come get it?
That's the way it was at Bacchanal. They'd find your number at the table and bring your food.
Oh, nice.
So we didn't get that casual. So we have actual real full service. But the food is European inspired, and it's much small plates.
Mm-hmm.
So chef was having a hard time creating the menu when it finally came time. I said, why are you having a hard time? He was just thinking about the neighborhood. And I said, oh, make a menu the way we like to eat. So that's what he did. It evolved over the last 2 years. We've changed things some to fit the neighborhood. But overall, it's been really well received, and I love the food, I have to say.
So let's talk about the neighborhood for a second, because Lakeside is a unique setting in and of itself. What is it about Lakeside that brought you there, and what have you kind of learned about the folks who live and work around
It's
there?
definitely a very tight-knit community. They all stick side by side. They're all really friendly. And it's been fun because people actually thank me for opening over there. I'm like, wow, you're welcome. But the reason we opened there is, one, yes, we like the neighborhood very much. But secondly, we really wanted to find a space that had a yard in the back, because that's why we fell in love with Bacchanal, because it had a big backyard. So we've been working on that slowly but surely. We have a deck out there now and pretty lights. So
You can eat outside? Mm-hmm. Okay, I have not done that.
yeah.
Hope he doesn't make it past the bar very often.
No, I mean, and she knows that. The last time she saw me, I was at the bar, so that was unsurprising. This is like a secret little thing. There is a patio at Revel that no one is talking about
You
because
are correct,
they want
'cause
to
no one sits
keep
back
it
there.
They
How
want
come?
to keep it to themselves, Lakesiders.
Yep.
They're keeping it all to themselves. Oh,
And we allow dogs, so it's perfect for
And it's puppy
families.
friendly?
Yep.
Oh,
Inside
gosh.
and out.
How many seats are back there?
40.
40?
this is
That's
incredible.
not a tiny patio.
That's like a little lounge area on the top.
Do you guys have music back there?
We're going to.
Look at this. Breaking
Soon.
news on the Eat It Virginia. Secret patios via Amy and Revel and Lakeside.
Yes.
Love it. I'm like thinking I might go this week. Why
Actually-
wouldn't you?
So you said you visited New Orleans in 2018. When did Revel actually open its doors for the first
Not until
time?
2023.
What happened?
That is dedication, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm just kidding. Well, it took a while to find the property.
Okay.
When we found the property, COVID hit. So that stalled us. And let me back up. Just after I gutted this man's building, gutted it, about had a heart attack. I found out I needed 25 parking spaces.
Oh, I thought you meant you had a heart attack. I was like,
No.
oh man.
Thought I was going to.
They just said now you need to have 25 parking spaces.
I did not know that. Oh my goodness. I thought I had plenty of parking. Well, now I know.
That's the
Otherwise-
county. That's
I
the
know
county
otherwise.
that came to you and said.
Yeah, but I was able to work something out with the wonderful Lakeside Rescue. So that
nice.
satisfied the parking. So then I was ready to start renovation. Then COVID hit. So that stalled us for 2 years, year and a half. And then finally, there's a good friend of mine who kind of kicked me in the butt and said, when are you going to get this done? I said, I don't know, because I had troubles with contractors. He said, why don't I be the general contractor, the GC, and I'll handle your subs. I'm like, thank you.
Wow, what a friend.
Yes. Yeah, he's a good guy. Known him
Eats for free.
a long time.
Is there a drink named after him at the
No,
bar?
there isn't.
Oh, come on now.
He only drinks beer, so.
Well,
Get him a koozie. Stay at the bar. You can just put it in there.
The Marcus.
Yeah, there it is. You
To
can have
Marcus.
Marcus. Yeah,
Yep.
got this thing open.
But yeah, he kind of gave me the kick to get it back on track. And so we opened March of 23.
It's very nice.
Well, late February.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's so if you've never been in there, it's like a really large bar and then kind of a little bit of a dining area. I know nothing about the patio, but we'll know this week. Don't worry.
yeah, I drove by on Friday night. I was gonna swing by just to get a sense of the place before we talk, and it was very crowded on Friday night. It seemed
Friday's
to
the
be.
busiest
Yeah,
night.
and there were people like walking across the street,
Yep.
getting to your place. I was like, all right, well, she doesn't need my business tonight. She's doing just fine how she is.
Yeah, unfortunately, the parking lot could be like 8 times bigger, and it would be helpful. But
Sure. So we talked a little bit about the Lakeside crowd. Do you have mostly regulars?
yes, we have a lot of regulars. They're just all nice.
All nice.
So
Okay.
it's very loyal. They come every day.
Every
Maybe
day.
not every day. but
Right.
Most
close.
every day.
Yeah, they come
Well,
a
when
lot.
you have like a what is it, a $6 old fashioned for happy
Yes.
hour? I mean, that's an incredible cocktail for happy. I mean, there's
It
several.
is.
There's more than an old fashioned. It's just the one I remember in my
Yeah, we
head.
do sangria. We do house drinks, house liquor drinks, mixed drinks for $5. And not to mention we have lots of food for happy hour.
Yep.
The great meatballs. I mean,
Yep.
I've done a lot of highlighting of the food in multiple publications, so I'm pretty familiar with the snacks. Does Juleps have the same type of happy hour, or
We're right now just doing cocktails.
okay, not food
$5.
yet?
It's called $5 at 5. No food right now, but we're going to bring that back.
So how do you manage two different menus that are super
totally different.
separate from each other?
I have excellent chefs.
And where'd you find them?
Rashad is a delight. He is the head chef at Juleps. And it was an awkward moment where Corey was going to be phasing out of Juleps. He'd been with us 6 years. And to go to Revel.
Right.
And I'm like, I got to hire a head chef. And it was just awkward, you know? It's like,
Sure.
how do I get you out and get someone else in? And it worked out really well. This wonderful guy sent me his resume. I believe he was in Aruba at like 2 a.m. He sent it. And I just had a really good feeling about him. I'm from Baltimore. That's where he's from. And so he came on board. And the timing was great because he got to work a full year with Corey.
Okay.
So we didn't miss a beat. And his cuisine was very similar to Corey.
Oh, good.
So people didn't realize that it's some big change, you know?
Sure. It was an easy transition.
Yeah. So he's been doing a great job.
Well, great. That's
And we
it.
finally brought back wine dinners at Juleps. We're doing them once every quarter.
Nice.
Yes. We hadn't done them
Those are busy
since
for
the
you.
pandemic.
Those are you guys sell those out usually.
Yeah, we just had one last week.
And what does that consist of? Like, because I know that you had been doing them, and they were really, 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 like, truly, they're affordable, and oftentimes you need to like buy
The one we
stuff
did just
immediately.
last week was really fun. It gives the chef opportunity to be more creative and not stuck on just Southern. So this was a South African vineyard. So the whole menu was South African.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah. And the winemaker is obviously from South Africa, has that gorgeous accent, you know. And when we were touching on plates that were reminiscent of his mother, he's like, my mom makes this, but as good as hers was, it's never this good. So Rashad was happy that he made the mark, you know.
Yeah.
So usually it's 5 courses, 5 wines, maybe an intermezzo, and that's about it. It's always good.
Perfect.
When you've been open as long as Juleps has, I know a lot of faces have come through those doors in the kitchens. Like, can you name some of the people who we might have known that used to work for you that are now going on to other restaurants in town? Maybe some past guests of ours?
Yeah, there are a couple.
Oh, yeah?
Travis, Milton.
Yeah. And Randy.
Yep, Randy Dotzer.
He's excellent.
So Travis Milton, who last year was nominated for a James Beard.
Yeah. He's
out,
in the Appalachian now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
sure is. And then Randy Dotzer, who's at Adara, double Adara, the old one and now the new one.
Yep.
So, yep. Yeah, both those guys have been in the kitchen with you.
Yeah.
Who else has been in your kitchen? I'm trying to. Bobby Kruger did
Yes.
some.
Good old Bobby.
Yep, did a lot of mixology
He started
for
with
you.
me when he was 18. Isn't that crazy?
Now he's
He's a
running.
grown man now.
I think maybe in my eyeballs, he's like one of our first like mixologists, right? Like he was
I
like the
agree.
first guy that started like doing all of the things back in the day.
Oh, yeah. He
Now-
did a little trap window because we used to come in the back door for speakeasy, but of course wasn't after hours because that'd be illegal. But it was this little metal window, and you just open it, and then people had to know the code or something. It was so funny.
So good, yeah.
But that was all Bobby's
so
idea.
creative.
He was great. Yeah.
If you want to see him, he's at Brambley Park now and
Yep.
out somewhere in the South Side doing something at like Independence
And
Golf
Costa
Course.
Rica.
Yeah, he has that new mead. He's doing sparkly mead or something. Yeah, I just remember going to Mint and drinking Bobby Kruger stuff. You guys had like
At Juleps.
Julep. Sorry, down in the bottom.
Yep.
Did you ever go to that location?
That's the one I went to a million years ago. Like you said,
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I did want to ask you about Gray Street, though, in downtown. I'm a big fan of downtown Richmond, and I want to see it succeed. I want to see it succeed. I've been here my whole life. But you're there every day, at least, if not physically, then mentally or
Yeah, I
emotionally.
definitely am.
What is it like now in downtown Richmond? Let's compare it to when you first opened up Juleps on Gray Street versus post-COVID downtown
Yeah.
Richmond.
Well, it was rough after COVID, of course.
Right. What was it like? But what was it like when you first opened there?
It was excellent.
Yeah.
Lots of foot traffic.
And what year was that? Ish.
2014.
2014.
Yeah. So I'll be there 11 years now, this year. June. But yeah, it was hustle bustle. It was great. I mean, I really loved it. Kind of, everyone called Gray Street Restaurant Row. So we had all those restaurants, and we still do, which is great. And I'd say 2020 to 22 was just kind of like a ghost town. It was a little odd.
Mm-hmm.
The feeling was different. You know, things shifted.
Were you able to? I'm sorry to interrupt
go
you.
ahead.
You shut down obviously in March of 2020, like everybody else. When were you able to reopen
It
Juleps
was so sad. I reopened in July.
of 2020?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
I mean, I could have stayed closed for the rest of the year because the sales were so bad.
right.
Oh, my goodness.
What went into the decision to reopen just then? You just want to get people back to work? Or,
Yeah.
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 And was it you had to do the 6 feet separation and
And every
some people
other
wore
ta-
masks,
And
some
like
people
every
didn't
other
wear masks.
table, like it was half capacity.
Right.
But the people weren't coming out, so it wasn't hard
right.
to
Right.
do half
Easy to
capacity.
do a little capacity.
So do
Yeah.
you remember like what's going through your mind at that time? I mean, I can't imagine
I felt
it's
like I was in the
anything
Twilight
positive.
Zone. It was so strange. It was just a weird feeling. Really weird, in my opinion.
Right. Of course.
And the
Yeah.
riots and all that anger, I was like, oh, my goodness.
Did that affect your block of Grace at all? I mean, I know it affected downtown in general, but were there things happening on your block? There were.
I got a really odd call. Great gentleman I used to work with named Kenny Prince. He's an older gentleman, but he was a handyman and helped me everywhere. And his son on and off worked for me in the back in the kitchen. Hadn't seen him, and so Kevin calls me. I'm like, what in the world is he calling me for? 10 o'clock on a random night. Excuse me. And he said, Amy, I don't know if you're still in that restaurant Juleps, but I'm in Maryland, Baltimore, live streaming the news, and someone just broke into your building. I'm like, what? So I pull up my camera. I'm like, there are all these people running around my restaurant. I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, they knocked the window out.
I would say you were affected then.
Yeah.
Did they take anything?
No. What's funny is we'd just done liquor inventory that night. So we knew exactly what was stolen. And all the good stuff's way up at the top. And there was
Don't get any ideas, people.
there was a minor miscommunication with my electrician and myself in the blueprints. And he had put all the electrical switches on the inside of a cupboard. But I thought they were going to be on the outside. So you wouldn't be able to find the lights, the switches. So they couldn't really see
A
anything.
fortunate mistake.
Yeah, it was
Oh, that was a blessing in disguise. So they were
Yeah.
running around in the dark
It's
because
like,
they couldn't
look.
find any way to turn anything on.
the mistake worked out.
So, in your opinion, what can the restaurants do? What can the city do? What can Joe customer like Roby and I do to like help downtown Richmond?
It would be nice to
Thrive.
see people feel welcome back into the city and enjoying it. I don't know how to explain it.
So just
But
like,
I actually had guests that emailed me and said, I love your restaurant, but I'll never be back.
yeah,
Because the city, the riots, and how it was handled, you know? But you can't change the past. All we can do is work on getting it back where it was. And I'm feeling like it is.
good.
Since about 2023,
Oh, it is getting better.
oh yeah, my sales, I think 2023 are finally what they were in 19. It took years, but
Sure.
we're getting there.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I always hear it's the parking that keeps people from coming. I don't know if you hear that ever.
Not really.
Oh, see? Good. I mean, everybody's always like, we can't park.
I hear that a lot, but I never feel that when I go downtown.
Not me
I never have any
either.
trouble.
I've never had trouble.
Yeah, I think it's just a mental block. Some people have that.
I don't think people want to pay for parking.
Or parallel park. they want it to
Both
be.
of them.
I don't have any
But
trouble
if
with
you
that.
go any other city, you have to pay tons
A
more to
lot.
park. So I
Yes.
never understand why people are like, "Oh, I don't want to pay the $4 in Richmond," where I just was somewhere and we had to pay $42. I mean, and it wasn't anywhere like super nice either. Like your restaurant's super nice. Like this, I was like, people are so mad about $4 parking.
What can you do?
Exactly. What can you do?
Nothing. Tell
And
people
what
it's
the
cheap
other
parking.
bummer is, I always did valet at the old restaurant. And when I moved, it was one way. So we had 2 lanes.
Oh, that's right.
Then that race came through and they made my block 2-way. So I can't do valet legally because you can't constantly pull into oncoming traffic.
Right.
So that's why I had to.
So
stop.
Grace was one. I'm trying to remember. Grace was one way, and then the bicycle race came through. Is that what you're talking about? The bicycle
And
race.
they made it 2-way starting at 4th or 5th to the Capitol. I was like, oh, guess I'm not going to do it. No valet.
No valet now.
do you find that down in Juleps, most of your so we talked about Revel and it being like a community, like the Lakeside community. what is at Juleps? Is it mostly people that work downtown, people that now live downtown? Is it
a lot of people that
state capital folks?
Definitely work downtown. We do a lot of corporate dinner parties. That's our bread and butter, which is great. And then definitely neighborhood people and those looking to get dressed up, celebrate something special. We're kind of the special occasion restaurant.
Right.
We didn't mean to be. It just happened.
Well, I mean, it's beautiful in there, so I can understand.
And it's Foster. We'll do it every time.
I mean, anything you set on fire, I'm into. So, like, any dessert you set on fire, I'm into. Maybe I should clarify. It's super, super cool.
The funny thing with Juleps is we never meant for it to be white tablecloth, fine dining. The restaurant we were renting, all the tables were mismatched. So we'll just do linen.
Sure.
And that's how we became fine dining.
Really?
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. So like you just like sort of fell into it.
Yeah.
What is the difference from when the downtown you were, which was like in Chaco Bottom and Gray Street? Do you see a lot of differences there?
It's huge.
Like what would be the? I mean, they're
It's
not
so
too far
much-
away from each
it's
other.
so much better in the business district, is what
Really?
I call it. Yes. At the old location, literally, if I had 11 on the books, unfortunately, I was probably doing 11. At the new location, if you have 11 on the books, you could literally do 65 people.
because people just walk
all the
by.
foot traffic, yeah.
Not a lot of foot
And all the
traffic
people
down
staying
there.
at the hotels support us a lot.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So it's great. I really like it better.
I want to bounce back to Revel for a moment. It's Revel. It's also a market.
And bar, yeah.
Yeah, bar and market. So can you tell us a little bit about the market aspect of things and why you decided to go that way? I know you mentioned New Orleans, but
In my mind, it would be much more than it is right now. However, when we opened, we literally opened with just chef owner and one other guy. Couldn't find help at all. So we tried a bunch of different things, hoping something would stick, and nothing really did. So we kind of focus for now until we can get much more staff. We're focusing more on the wine by the
Sure.
bottle, and then cheeses, spreads, things are made in house. So that's what we're doing right now, and crackers.
and what kind of wines are you selling there?
Oh, all kinds.
Yeah.
All over the world. Yes, it's good.
I'm hoping she starts doing prepared food like meatballs.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
For those of you listening and not watching, Roby's giving the
But I
big
think
wink,
chef
wink.
is kind of leaning towards that. Since we're already making it, why not put it in the case?
Yeah.
And if the next day if it doesn't sell, then I'm not losing much,
Right.
Yeah.
I would love that. I think people over there would like that. Just like
Mm-hmm.
a similar to some of the other markets around town. There's
Yeah.
not really one.
When we do
in that
soup,
area.
it sells out like
I bet
in a
it
minute.
does.
Yeah, people love the soup.
I feel like I'm being a big bummer, and I don't mean to be a big bummer.
He is a big bummer. It's fine.
But my day job was with the news, and we talk a lot about the economy, and we talk a lot about inflation and things like that. And we all have like our high and mighty ideas about what's going on in the world. But you're there on the front line, so I'm just curious. What can you tell us right now about the difficulties of running a restaurant? What would customers need
I
to
think
know?
the hardest thing is obviously the pricing has gone up. And every restaurant owner struggles with not raising their prices because you want to stay in this certain sweet spot. And so you have to struggle with that and be very conscientious, not to be like, oh, they jumped $5.
So what does that look like? I mean, walk us through your thought
We've been
process
treading
there.
thinly. We have raised some prices, but not very much, just enough to offset that added expense. At Revel and Juleps, both are from scratch. Everything is made in-house. All the pastas, the sauces, everything. And I know Chef gets frustrated because he's like, I found out that such and such burger is $26. He's like, and I'm charging, maybe $18 for these marinated souvlaki, homemade pita. It's just interesting. But we run our numbers and we see that we're on point and we don't need to raise them. So we're at a good spot.
At a place.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think your customers notice when you raise the prices? I mean, I know you said it's incrementally, but do you think they see it?
I don't think so. Because
Okay.
it's been so little. I mean, I think, yeah, it's very little.
Do you feel like that's the best way to do it in response to what's going on is inch by inch as opposed to like a foot?
Or what we would do is, for example, lamb chops have come down, but back in the day, we would have had to charge $68 for lamb chops. So we don't run them.
Sure, you just don't till they go back
so
down.
we omit things from the menu when they're just cost prohibitive.
Doesn't
you know?
make sense.
Yeah. So we've been doing a good job of that. So if things just get too, like during the pandemic, I was doing my crab cakes. They're so good. And it's all jumbo lump, no filler.
Yum.
And it got to the point where I was like, this is stupid. We cannot run crab cakes.
How much were
I would
they?
have had to charge $62.
Wow.
That's
I
a
mean,
lot
and
for
that's
crab
just-
cakes.
just
So
for me
I'd
to-
probably pay it.
just
Did
for
you
me to
just
make
see
my
her face?
cost.
She goes,
I was
"They're-
like-
when she says they're good, you know that they're
They are good. I like them.
$62 for crab cakes. That is a lot because that
We
crab
just
meat went up
absorbed
for a
the
while.
expense. We never raised it that high.
Oh wow.
We left them on the menu, but it was, thankfully, they came down. The crab meat came down.
Sure.
So
But those prices are fluctuating so drastically and relatively quickly, right? I mean,
Yes.
they go up and down week
like
to
everyone's
week.
complaining about eggs. I mean,
But you're laughing. But
everyone's complaining about eggs, and I'm like, is it really that bad? You know,
was
I'm
it?
like,
I don't know. You tell me. Like,
it was.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it really was.
So there you go.
I'm
There's
like,
the
well,
answer.
don't serve deviled eggs right now. Then I mean, it was just funny. I started doing the math, and I'm like, that is high for an egg.
How many eggs do I need? Really?
It was just silly because both restaurants run their variation of deviled eggs, and I'm like,
You're
we
like,
can't
"Not
afford
today."
to put deviled eggs on happy hour. What?
So I don't want you to call out your own restaurants, but as a diner, like if I go to a restaurant and I see a menu, like where do I look and like that's where they're making the difference up, or this is a little trick that I can see that they must be struggling here. Is there any kind of like hint in the menu that I can
Not
know?
that I have.
How about just in general, like any restaurant secrets? No, nothing.
Not that I can think of.
All right, I tried.
Get the eggs.
Get the eggs.
Yeah. I mean, because I mean they've come back down a little bit now, so
yeah,
it's better.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's better. To,
I mean, the only thing I could say is possibly restaurants to compensate for food, raise the liquor a little more.
Right.
Not drastically, but like a quarter or 50 cents here and there would make up for some of those food items.
but it's smarter for you to make money for us to get a liquor drink as opposed to wine or beer. Well, some wine, I guess, because you make a little bit
It's
more
better
on
on
the
liquor.
liquor
Yeah.
than. So if you're gonna get the eggs, get a cocktail.
Fair enough. I love my cocktail with eggs or eggs with my
That's
cocktails.
helpful for Amy.
Do you remember how much your cocktails cost at your first restaurants? Do you remember like
They're
the
like-
price points?
They're more like 10.
So that means now
10
they're
to
probably
12, 10 to
15,
12.
16. So it's, all right.
Hers are super affordable. So
But the mint julep you can get at Juleps for $5 for happy hour.
I'm there.
That's a good deal.
that's a great deal.
Yeah.
It's a great deal. Well, I mean, yeah, I also, right now I think having those lead people to your restaurants, like your happy hour and stuff, is really, really awesome for the economy. So I'm waiting for Juleps to do food and
We will. It'll
Then-
be soon.
have come down there for the patio. So events coming up. Wine dinner coming up, and you're going to
We
do that
just
again.
had-
Just did one, but
Just
you'll
did
do
one.
it again
We're going to do them every quarter. So I
Okay.
think the next one is August at Revel.
Awesome.
I mean, Juleps.
at Julep.
And at Revel, we're doing every other month of wine or beer dinner.
Do
Beer
you
dinner's
find
fun.
that there's more beer drinkers in Lakeside?
Yeah, probably.
Really?
But both dinners sell out like
So-
in a minute. It's crazy. So we have another one tomorrow. And
Well, that's fun. I mean, like, at least you know that you'll have. Do you get regulars for those?
oh, yeah.
So it's the
Yeah.
same people buying the same ticket.
Yeah, before
Their
they even
night
leave.
out. Like,
That's
let's do this the
amazing.
next
Yeah, the
one.
chef's like, no one else has an opportunity to come then.
You're doing
Like,
something right, I
it's
guess.
The one girl was funny. She was trying to get in to this one tomorrow. And unbeknownst to her, her friend signed her up. And she was like, I didn't know I was in. Yay.
How many people is there room for
20.
this?
It's an intimate group of people that
Yeah.
really enjoy wine and
You put it on the back
snacks.
patio, it'd be 40.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think chef could handle that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, chef.
No, the only reason is because the chef handles the wine dinner by himself.
Okay.
So he serves those 20 guests with a little help from the sous chef. But if we did 40, we'd have to close the restaurant because we would need all the guys in the kitchen
everything
helping.
to do
That
those
makes
stuff.
sense. That's why I don't run a restaurant, Roby. I don't know these things.
Well, I mean, she does, so you can ask her all the questions.
That's what I'm trying to do here.
So there was music at Cabo's.
Yep.
Occasionally you guys do something at Juleps. You're now going to bring it back. How do you choose those? Do you just think about what you chose before, or somebody comes
No,
to
I
you
have
and
good
says,
friends. I used to book bands for a living.
which
So-
you were telling us,
yeah,
right?
so I have contacts that I enjoy working with, so I just call them, and they're also nice. They're like, we'll work with you. I'm like, thank you. So a good friend of mine, Hayes Elverston, he likes to book all the music. I mean, he's been willing to do it for me because I do a big holiday pop-up at Revel, and it kicked off with music. So each Tuesday I had music in December. And I want to bring Janet Martin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to Revel. She kicked off the Make Spirits Bright holiday pop-up. She kicked it off. And it was a good crowd. It was fun. I had all the
It's fun to
tacky
listen
lights
to.
and all that stuff. But I would like to bring music, and I would like to do it on the back patio to make sure I don't
Upset the
disturb
neighbors. Yeah.
yeah. Almost like
I
an
bet you they
unplugged
Be the
kind of
villain
feel.
of Lakeside
Well, I'll do
instead of the
maybe
hero.
like an unplugged,
Yeah.
you know.
Little bit tuned down.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking, this is all coming back to me now. Juleps was in the news because of like celebrities when some movies were being filmed here,
Yes.
right?
Oh, what was the name of that show? My niece is going to kill me. I can't remember the name. It's some popular sitcom,
Uh-huh.
and they filmed it at Juleps. And everyone's like, oh my God, that's such a big deal. I'm like, I don't know what it is. But,
And you still don't know what it is.
I
so
still
there we
don't. I
go.
always forget.
Was it Seinfeld?
No.
The Cosby Show?
No.
No. Family?
Nothing like that.
All right. I don't know.
No. I can't remember the name. Sorry. I don't know. We've had a lot of famous people.
We'll
through.
edit this in later.
Who is your
Yeah.
favorite?
I don't know his name.
You don't know the name of your favorite celebrity that came through?
No.
Oh, I love
Describe
that.
it for us. Maybe we can figure it out.
It's
I actually think that's awesome. She's like, you know what?
It-
Great person. Served them some snacks. Sent
Yeah.
them on their way.
The best part, I don't know this guy's name either. I was hosting down at the old location, and a gentleman came. He looked like familiar. So I sat him and his family, and he asked where the restroom was later. And I showed him. I said, it's good seeing you again. He's like, thanks. And he goes upstairs. My server comes over to me. He goes, Amy, you don't know who that is, do you? I'm like, he's a regular. He's like, no, he's a famous action figure movie star. I'm like, oh, yeah, well.
I thought I recognized him from the restaurant.
Yeah, I did.
I'm certain he orders the crab cakes.
Yep.
15 years of movies is what you recognize him from, probably.
I know,
but
so
awesome.
bad.
that's hilarious.
No, that's the best kind of. I feel like that's the best way to be. It's just like,
Yeah, we
you
had
know what, you came
Andre
back.
Agassi and his wife Steffi.
Oh, yeah,
Graffi.
Steffi Graf, yeah.
And they were seated in the corner of this old location. And a very eccentric friend of mine came through. He was a sommelier. He's an author. He's just really a great guy. And he was wearing, this a long time ago, a compression suit for men because he was writing an article about it for some men's magazine.
Right?
He starts scaling the side of the stairs while they're seated having dinner. And I'm like, of all nights, you're to come in this. So I tell him this story just last week. He goes, I think I still have that thing. Sure enough, he put
I
it
feel
on.
like that's Jason
and sent me a-
Tesaro.
Uh-oh.
It is
is.
Jason
Ding,
Tesaro,
ding,
isn't it?
Yep, and he sent me a picture of it. I'm like, that's hilarious.
That's awesome.
I can see Jason
Yeah.
Tesaro scaling. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
as soon as you started talking about who it might
He's
be.
awesome.
Yes.
He's
and
so
leaving
funny.
us for Italy.
I know. That's crazy.
So nuts. Compression suit Jason
Yep,
for the tennis player.
Over the Agassiz.
Did
Yeah.
he recognize the Agassi?
we all did.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So Agassiz, yes. Sitcoms and action stars, not
I
so
guess
much.
not. Yeah.
I love it.
Was it bald Andre Agassi or was it long flowing hair Andre Agassi? Do you remember? It was bald.
She does remember that.
Yep.
They
Yep.
used to live nearby. Like they used to have a house in Virginia Beach. So.
Oh, they did?
Yep, for a little while. I think Steffi
Oh,
did. So
yeah, that's why they
that's I don't know.
dropped
Who
by.
knows? Either that or one of our tennis courts around here is really, really great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't play tennis, so
No, neither do I. All right, so who should we call to get those names? Because people are gonna want to know who we're talking about here. Do you have like a assistant or a family member or something?
I'd have to ask Craig.
All right, we'll ask Craig.
I love it.
Craig would probably know better than I.
Seriously,
Yeah.
Daniel
Yeah,
Radcliffe?
yeah.
No
He
kidding.
was filming
Oh,
a
I'm
movie
not
here.
kidding. And we have a picture of him.
Yeah, and then I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in there too.
And then my boyfriend's,
Hey, we literally
He has
had
a crush
Harry
on-
Potter.
he crushes on some guy. Not literally. And
I mean,
he-
I understand.
Corey won't come out and talk to anyone ever. Never, ever.
He said he won't or he will.
No.
He
never.
stays inside. He
will
likes
not.
to be in his
But
kitchen.
this actor they like so much, he was like, I'm going out there. I'm going to give him my shrimp, my grit recipe. Because he was asking
Just-
about it.
You just rolled out. He
So
was like,
he-
"Hey."
He just went out there and he was like, what was his name? Chris Angel's been in there.
No magic tricks.
Nope.
Oh well, that's
Everyone thought he
sad.
was a rock star. I'm like, nah, that's a magician.
No, he just kind of looks like one.
Yeah, he did. And the girl he was with was like, oof. I mean, they were dressed. You know,
They were ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look like rock and rollers.
That's funny.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, there've been a lot.
Dan, she's like, I don't remember who it is. It was just Harry Potter.
I couldn't come up with Harry Potter either. I'm like,
Look, you know that the lady wrote. That's awesome. Well, We really appreciate your time
Absolutely.
today.
It's been
Thanks
fun.
for coming on. It's been great. I love it that she doesn't know who they are. So I'm like, believe
killing me inside,
We're
but-
gonna leave it. Well,
What's so bad is I can picture them but perfectly, like all of them. I don't know their names.
I bet if you looked up sitcom at Juleps, it would come right up.
I'll do that
Don't
after
you
the
think?
interview.
All I
Great.
have to do is text my niece. She'll tell me.
All right.
Well, you're listening to Eat It, Virginia with Amy Cabaniss, Revel Martin, and Scott Wise.
It's the new Broadway in Richmond season, coming to the Altria Theater this fall, featuring Kimberly Akimbo, Back to the Future the Musical, Disney's Beauty and the Beast, and more. Season ticket packages are on sale now. Secure your seats today at BroadwayInRichmond.com.